Hey everybody, this is Mr. McKee with NOS-130. I want to go ahead and go over how to install Hyper-V role in Server 2012. And since we're using VMware Workstation, we need to make some changes to our VMX file, or we're not going to be able to run that nested Hyper-V inside of a VMware environment. So my VMX file has already been updated, but I just want to show you guys where it will be located at. Wherever your virtual machine for Server 2012 is located. I put mine on my desktop under VMs. But you go down here to the VMX file, which I made some changes, and I have two. This is not best practice by any means, but I have two virtual machines saving to the same file or same folder. All right, the one I want is Server 2012 Hyper-V with 3 network cards, 8 hard drives, and a VM of Windows 10 already installed in it. So it's VMware virtual machine configuration. It's only 6 kilobytes. So I'm going to right click it. I've got Notepad++ installed on this computer, which is nice. Edit it with that. The big thing you want to make sure, open this thing up, you got to have hypervisor.cpuid.v0 equals false. That's just telling it that it's not running on a hypervisor already. If it is, you're going to get an error that says you're already running on a hypervisor, and it won't let you install the role at all. All right. Also, you want to put the I don't want to put that little dot right there. All right. mce.enable equals true. And now these are just some standard entries. All right. That's so it'll show you error messages. And the other one is, scroll up here, if you do Control F, VHV. All right, you gotta have a virtual hard drive installed on there. So VHV.enable equals true. That's, every time I've looked at all these VMX files, that's already been entered as a configuration. So the big thing is don't put 2 entries in for that same thing, or they're gonna you're gonna have errors when you try to boot up the virtual machine. All right, so VHV.enable equals true. You need that, and you need hypervisor.cpuid.v0 equals false, and mce.enable equals true. And I was having a lot of problems in class where I would save this file and it would still somehow revert back to removing that hypervisor.cpuid equals false line. So whatever. I mean, it's working now, so that's good. But make sure when you save this file, make sure you do file save as, and make sure you're saving it as a VMX file, not a text file. I did that a couple times, but even when I saved it as VMX file, it was still having issues. So if you want to make sure you're saving it correctly, find the VMX file, like that's my VMX file right there. Save it as that. Or if you just want to be sure, do the file name .vmx and put that whole thing in parentheses. And it's going to force it to be saved as a VMX file and not a text file. And see, it's going to try to save it there. I'm not going to save it right now, but if you hit yes, it'll save it. All right. And also, when you open up your virtual machine and run it, it's going to make updates to this configuration file. So it'll start giving you messages like, you know, another program's trying to access this same file. So usually just shut it down. All right. All right. So I booted up my Server 2012 with well, not with Hyper-V right now. I've uninstalled the role to show you guys. So in VMware Workstation, Control-Alt-Insert. It's going to let me log in with password. And if I get errors on this, I'm so used to it, it really doesn't matter. I'm so used to fixing it. All right, so Server Manager boots up. All right, and now know that I already had my VM, well, my Hyper-V virtual machines, my VMs, I already have a Windows 10 education. And it's saving all of its files to here, or on my desktop. I'm not really worried about that. You guys having to do that. All right, current roles, file and storage services. We did print services last week. I want to go ahead and install HyperV, so add roles and features. Click next. Make sure we'll only have one server right now, so it just pick the defaults for that. All right, so as soon as I click this HyperV, if it's not going to let me do it, it's going to tell me pretty quick. All right, now it's sitting there thinking about it, so it's more than likely going to go through. Should get a check mark in the HyperV box. All right, let's go ahead and just click next, next. All right, virtual machines require virtual switches to communicate with other computers. If you want to have it actually connect to the internet and connect to the other computers, you have to pick a interface. We created 3 network interfaces. All right, so there's 3 of them. I picked Ethernet 0. Click next. This is the default location for your virtual hard disk files. I changed it to my desktop, which you just hit browse, and see I can save it right there. So now my default for the VMs is the desktop. Default location for virtual machine configuration files. I also did that on the desktop, but you don't have to do that. So I'm going to go back. Alright, so just like that. Click install. Now in real life, though, I mean, you can put that the VM files anywhere you really want to. For the labs, though, on the desktop is the best place to find them. All right, just let it do its thing and install. All right, restart is pending. All right, so it's ready to go. I get a flag here for notifications. Same thing. I got to restart it. Let's go to PowerShell, shut down. R for restart, time 0. All right, you'll see it restart. It's going to restart twice. And it's going to start up HyperV. Alright, so just give it a second. Alright, it should be coming up pretty soon. Alright, I'll go through this, boot up. I think it'll restart one more time. I've done this so much that it's, see, now it's shutting down again, restarting. Alright, there we go. Alright, just let it do its thing. Now remember, we're using VMware Workstation. If you look at the bottom right, you can see that I have 8 virtual hard drives. Alright, 3 virtual network cards. Okay, now Control-Alt-Insert to log in. Alright, now we're in Server 2012. Server Manager will boot up as always. Just let it boot up. And my roles will show up in a couple of seconds. Alright, so we got file and storage services, print services, and HyperV. Now HyperV, when it was giving me errors, as soon as you click on the HyperV role, you can see the errors. Alright, there it's 8:39 right now, so I got an error at 8:37 was my most recent one. Shut down physical computer, okay, that's fine. Shut down physical computer, stopping saving all virtual machines. Did that twice. You can look back, error, absolute path, desktop, ISO image is invalid. I think that was when I deleted that ISO image off the OVA file to make it smaller. Alright, look at these other ones. Now the bad errors back here were, let's see, I've done this several times. See how far it goes back. So we're looking at yesterday. Alright, so all those errors were just restarted. Now, let's see, 7:40 in the morning. The virtual infrastructure driver VID was not running. That's a bad one. That would not let HyperV start up. And also this other one, the virtual machine bus is not running. That was when I created an OVA file on another computer, imported it into VMware Workstation, and tried to start it up, and then I got that error. Somehow it reverts the my VMX file configurations back. It takes those lines out that I just put in at the beginning of the video for whatever reason. But now, since it's working now, I'm not going to spend too much time worrying about it. Alright, so we got HyperV, right click HyperV, only got one server, go to HyperV Manager. Alright, now what I'm going to let you guys see, there's my Windows 10 education version. The state's off, so if I right click it, I can click connect there, start it up, or I can start it. Alright, you see how this is the actual server, alright, and then this is the virtual machine itself. Alright, so I can start it right from here. If I click connect, then I still have to hit start. If I click start, it should start all up by itself. See a little console window in here to show you what it's doing. Alright, so it looks like it's already booted up. So if I click it, alright, let it come up. You notice it's in Pacific time. That would be something you need to change since we're in Eastern time. Log in. Let it boot up. Alright, there we go. Alright, looks like we have an internet connection. I wouldn't always trust that. Alright, you can go to open up Edge. Go to some cool thing like Dan's Comp. Alright, if you want to look at VMX bikes, that's supposed to go. Alright, cool. So we definitely loaded. So we're out on the internet. I can ping stuff if I wanted to. Just for giggles, let me see what the IP address is. Alright. There's my name. Computer name. 22.168. 64.146. Alright. It's okay. And it's natted through the virtual network adapter. That's why we have a we're on a different subnet. Alright. So that's basically all you need to do really is just watch the video. But one thing you can do, you can pause the VM right here, and since we're using HyperV, you do, instead of snapshots, you do checkpoints. So I made a checkpoint back at 8:26, maybe like 15 minutes ago. So I want to make a checkpoint again for right now. Oh, I don't want to do that. Let's see what we got here. Checkpoint. Maybe I just clicked the wrong thing. All right, now I have one checkpoint at 8:26. I have another checkpoint at 8:43, and then obviously now is now. All right. So that's really all you need to do. Now to shut this thing down, best practice is actually go into the virtual machine and shut it down just like a regular PC. All right. Shut that down, and then you'll see this actually state will change. Should take a second. if I would have just shut it down from here, like shut down, that would have shut it down a lot quicker, but you might lose some data. And if you need to do certain things, you know, you have a clipboard up here. Like this is connected to, that's where my error is coming from. The DVD drive is looking for a ISO image for Windows 10, which is, I deleted off there, so that's fine. Control-Alt-Delete, you can do certain things up there, create a checkpoint, revert back to a previous checkpoint, and then Control-Alt-Delete right there, turn off, power on, shut down, save, pause. Pretty easy to work with. Revert back. And now I shut down that window, but it's still on. You guys see it's still on, right? Okay. And then if I wanted to close that HyperV role, close that. All right, and that's it. I'm not really going to give you guys a lab for this section, but just be able to go through the video and just watch it and understand what's going on. And towards the end of the class, we'll do this lab again, but I don't really want you guys to do it right now since we had some issues. Alrighty, thanks for watching.